Meanwhile, we were talking about the bullpen, and you guys can still text in 866-979-3776, powered by Mac and Jack's Brewing Company. Who in that bullpen that's currently here, and the hypothetical is everybody's healthy, everybody's rested, and you've got to get 3 outs. You got to go 3 up, 3 down. Who's your guy? Who's your closer now that Sewald's out? You said Brash. Was
that my official answer?
Well,
I didn't know we were officially answering
it. What's your official answer?
I'm going to go with Justin Topa. I like. He seems very reliable. Now I'm going to go look at his numbers here, but you look at just he makes you feel safe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. He just seems steady. He doesn't.
There you go. Matt Brash would be the opposite of that.
Yeah, Matt Brash has got that Fernando Rodney element to him, where he can be very good. Where he can get the job, much like the Mariners of this series. Ultimately, you get the job done, but it's a little queasy along the way. Well, it's a little bumpy, to say the least.
That's what I say about Brash. It's exciting.
It is.
Remember when Tom Hanks comes out in League of Their Own, says, game's getting exciting?
Yeah.
She was throwing meatballs up there.
Yeah, she's got nothing left.
She's throwing grapefruits up there.
Yeah, nothing left there.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't give you that warm, fuzzy feeling. Matt Brash doesn't, but he just ridiculous stuff. I don't know if it's Andres Munoz either. He's a pretty young guy. I mean, what is he, 24, 23, 24?
Munoz?
Yeah. And do you put anything, because remember when Sewald made his debut, what is he now?
24 is Munoz.
Yeah. Is Sewald 33 now? He made his debut at age 30, so.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, a little older, a little wiser. Maybe that's something that you want in there.
Yeah, Sewald just turned 33 in May, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you love the stuff that Munoz has. You love Brash's stuff. I mean, how could you not? If they just need to harness it. And I think there have just been too many moments where they've been shaky or cost you or just couldn't throw a strike where you're like, oh my God, come on, man. I know you're throwing 99 or 102 in the case of Munoz at times, but you got to be able to command it. It does no good to have that kind of velocity if the guys are just sitting up there taking and you're walking guys or you're giving up hits. So, yeah, I don't know that there's a right answer. Just back to your original answer of Brash. I'm not saying that's wrong because I think sort of reluctantly I'd say Topa maybe. Just based on where we're at right now in the season and what you've seen from each guy. Topa could go out there and blow it up too. I mean, nobody's a surefire thing, but I don't know that there's a wrong answer really in this situation.
Well, you look at it in 5 2/3 innings, he's given up 4 hits. So, and this is in 7 outings. This is Justin Topa, and 6 strikeouts, 1 walk. Now it's 5 2/3 innings, and like I said, seven outings. But yeah, I don't know. He feels like a guy that is fairly reliable. I think he's 28 years old. I'm not being an ageist or anything like that, saying the young guys can't. But, a guy that's been around, he's got more experience. Maybe it's Justin Topa.
Yeah.
That would be ultimately, that would be the guy I would. But I feel like not every one of these guys can, but I feel like there's 4 or 5 choices where you're like, you don't really know.
I mean, they have the stuff in different ways. Saucedo's a guy who's been pretty darn effective. So
well, and when you talk about Brash and Munoz, yeah, they have ridiculous stuff, right? Paul Sewald didn't have that.
No, he didn't.
He told us
he had a great slider.
Yeah,
but
his was all about pitch sequencing, right? I mean, it was all about
keeping guys off balance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so here's Jerry Dipoto talking with Brock and Salk about the 9th inning situation with this bullpen.
In some way, this is all new to Matt. This is an opportunity, a growth opportunity, and I do think that you'll get growth pains along the way, and that's just part of the exercise. Mooney's done this a little bit before, and with the exception of, I would say, this year, while Mooney was on the IL and we were mostly, if not exclusively, going to Paul in the 9th inning. For the majority of the time since Edwin Diaz left after the 2018 season, we have been pretty, timeshare.
Yeah, it became Sewald for the most part. It wasn't exclusive, but it became Sewald, and it is a timeshare, as he says now. I'm guessing Service would love to have the guy. Like high leverage situation now, whether that's the 9th or the 8th. Maybe we've seen him do that where you are in a desperate situation in the 8th. You need a shutdown guy. You'll bring in Sewald or whoever your closer is. But, yeah, determining who that is now, I'm not sure. I mean, Brash is, it hasn't been all bad by any stretch with any of these guys, but it feels like as of late, and as we talked about the importance of these games right now, who do you look to? Who's the answer there? He went on to talk about Munoz in his recent run.
Mooney's had a rough week, and it's probably the first rough week he's truly had since he's been a Mariner. So, being too judgy in the early going, I don't think it has anything to do with the fact that he's pitching the ninth inning instead of the seventh through the eighth. He's pitching against tough pockets while he's trying to figure out where his stuff's at. And, the night before last, when we put him in the game, we put him in a tough situation and asking him to get 5 outs. And this is, again, a beaten down bullpen that has really pitched a lot of high leverage situations dating back to last Friday.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, especially if your starter can't hang in there and your bullpen gets called on early and you're burning through guys. And I mean, Munoz was out there for 42 pitches in that game, which was like, this guy's melting down. I don't understand. I don't know if Saucedo only had a certain number of pitches in him that night, so they didn't want to go to him too early, or what was happening out there. But yeah, I felt like you kind of left him hanging out there where it just wasn't happening. And one thing they pointed out quickly before the break, his velocity isn't where it was, and Jerry's talking about that here.
I'd say he has become a little more fastball centric here in the last couple of weeks, and I don't know if that's necessarily a design, but the downtick in velo over the weekend against Baltimore, he was throwing 98, 100 miles an hour, but he did pitch multiple consecutive days, and then again here it's multiple consecutive outings, and now it's a 5-out outing, and bouncing back after that. We've never really asked Andres to do that.
Yeah, maybe he's wearing down a bit. I mean, he had 3 appearances in a row where he gave up at least 1 run, 3 in the last appearance, and then it was 4 of 5 appearances he's given up a run. So it has been a tough stretch, and maybe he is hitting a wall fatigue-wise. I don't know. But, it's just, I think it's an interesting question, who you trust, who do you feel best about in a crucial situation where you've got to have somebody come in and lock it all down.